Slang in the original 13 American colonies was a fascinating blend of English influences, regionalisms, and the early development of what would become distinctly American expressions. This language evolved in a diverse environment where settlers from various parts of England, as well as other European countries, mingled and adapted to a new world. British influence, Cockney rhyming, slang. In colonies like New York and the southern states, settlers brought with them regional dialects from England, including the Cockney accent from London. While full-blown Cockney rhyming slang wasn't as developed in the colonies, certain expressions like apples and pears for stairs could have made their way over, though likely in a simplified form. Old World terms, words like brisk, lively, and bamboozled to deceive, were common in England and found their way to the colonies. These terms were used in everyday language and reflect the settlers' attempts to maintain a connection to their roots. Native American influence, borrowed words. The colonists adopted numerous words from Native American languages, particularly for things they had no English words for. Terms like skunk, moose, and squash were borrowed and integrated into colonial slang. Place names. Many Native American names were retained for geographical features, and these often became part of the local vernacular. For example, Manhattan from the Lenape language, or Chesapeake from Algonquian. Regional slang. Yankee, originally a derogatory term used by the British to refer to American colonists, particularly those from New England, Yankee was eventually embraced by the colonists as a badge of honor. It reflected the growing sense of identity and independence among the colonists. Virginia expressions. In the southern colonies, where plantation culture dominated, the word gentry was commonly used to describe the upper class. A nabob was slang for a wealthy person, borrowed from the Indian word for a prince or noble. Pennsylvania Dutch. In the middle colonies, especially Pennsylvania, settlers of German origin contributed their own slang, often based on a mix of German and English. For instance, Snicklefritz referred to a mischievous child. Occupational slang played a significant role in the colonies. With the colonies' heavy reliance on maritime trade, sailor slang was prevalent. Terms like scuttlebutt, meaning gossip, and careen, which referred to cleaning a ship's hull, were commonly used. These terms trickled into everyday language, not just among sailors, but also the general populace. On the edges of the colonies, where settlers faced the wilderness, frontier slang emerged. Words like bushwhack, meaning to ambush, and blaze a trail, which meant to mark a path, reflected the challenges and innovations of frontier life. Social and cultural influences shaped the slang of the time. In New England, where Puritanism was strong, certain slang reflected the strict moral code. Words like backslider, referring to someone who lapses from their faith, and wastrel, meaning a wasteful person, were common. Taverns, on the other hand, were a hub of social life and a breeding ground for slang. Terms like grog, a drink made of rum and water, and banter, which meant light, playful talk, were part of the lively exchange of ideas and news. Over time, colonists began developing their own distinct expressions that would eventually be recognized as Americanisms. Phrases like "to catch a cold" or "right as rain" became more common in the colonies than in England. This shift signaled the beginning of a unique American identity. In conclusion, slang in the original 13 colonies was a rich tapestry. It was woven from the various cultural, social, and linguistic threads that the settlers brought with them and adapted to their new environment. This blend of old and new, foreign and native, laid the foundation for the vibrant and dynamic language that would come to characterize American English.